Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A man who asks is a fool for 5 minutes. A man who never asks is a fool for life. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. Patience is a bitter plant, but its fruit is sweet. If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. A crisis is an opportunity riding the dangerous wind. The person who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. A man who cannot tolerate small misfortunes can never accomplish great things. A wise man makes his own decisions, but an ignorant man mindlessly follows the crowd. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls, others build windmills. One moment of patience may ward off great disaster. One moment of impatience may ruin a whole life. A little impatience will spoil great plans. He who thinks too much about every step he takes will always stay on one leg. Better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. When the heart is at ease, the body is healthy. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Dig the well before you are thirsty. A smile will gain you 10 more years of life. I was angered, for I had no shoes. Then I met a man who had no feet. He who cheats the earth will be cheated by the earth. Behave toward everyone as if receiving a guest. In a group of many words, there is bound to be a mistake somewhere in them. Only one who can swallow an insult is a man. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Tell me and I'll forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I'll understand. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. Do not confine your children to your own learning, for they were born in another time. Learning is like rowing upstream. Not to advance is to drop back. Teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. If you want to find out about the road ahead, then ask about it from those coming back. If you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. Learn to walk before you run. Learning is a weightless treasure you can always carry easily. If you want your children to have a peaceful life, let them suffer a little hunger and a little coldness. Happiness is the best cosmetic. If you bow at all, bow low. A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. A good name is better than a good face. All things change, and we change with them. To know another is not to know the person's face, but to know the person's heart. Solve one problem, and you keep 100 others away. Even a hare will bite when it is cornered. It is easy to find 1,000 soldiers, but hard to find a good general. Listening well is as powerful as talking well, and is also as essential to true conversation. Habits are cobwebs at first, cables at last. One who stands straight doesn't fear a crooked shadow. If you don't do stupid things, you won't end up in tragedy. An inch of time is an inch of gold, but you can't buy that inch of time with an inch of gold. If people are of one heart, even losses can become gold. One beam, no matter how big, cannot support an entire house on its own. No matter how tall the mountain is, it cannot block the sun. Do not want others to know what you have done? Better not have done it anyways. Talk does not cook rice. Experience is a comb which nature gives us when we are bald. Better the cottage where one is merry than the palace where one weeps. 100 no's are less agonizing than one insincere yes. The more acquaintances you have, the less you know them. Before preparing to improve the world, first look around your own home 3 times. 2 good talkers are not worth 1 good listener. Disaster comes from careless talk. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Too many cooks spoil the broth. A clear conscience never fears midnight knocking. There are 2 kinds of perfect people, those who are dead and those who have not been born yet. Married couples tell each other 1,000 things without speech. A clever person turns great troubles into little ones, and little ones into none at all. It's better to walk thousands of miles than to read thousands of books. A man without a smiling face must not open shop. It is easy to open a store, the hard part is keeping it open. Ripe fruit falls by itself, but it doesn't fall in your mouth. The person who is his own master cannot tolerate another boss. It is not the knowing that is difficult, but the doing. If you want to avoid being cheated, ask for prices at 3 different stores. Guessing is cheap, but guessing wrong can be expensive. A bad beginning makes a bad ending. If small holes aren't fixed, then big holes will bring hardship. Timely return of a loan makes it easier to borrow a second time. A bird in the hand is worth than 2 in the bush. A closed mind is like a closed book, just a block of wood. A book is like a garden carried in the pocket. A book holds a house of gold. You can't tell a book by looking at its cover. A single conversation with a wise man is worth a month's study of books. After 3 days without reading, talk becomes flavorless. It's better to be without a book than to believe a book entirely.